Sorry, ok. Eu acho que os pais e o professor, aí o professor você tipo o the. Não, porque eu acho que pais e professor. Okay? So because of parallelism, you need this. And same idea, check it out. Parents, teachers, professionals, couples. Cadê o lives? There was a lives around here.
The last paragraph.
There you go, lives. Okay? So, focus on the plural. Plural is important. Second thing, the participle. Look at this. Their children started, participle and past. The children started the schools and improved a lot their development. There's behaviors could be restricted, limited. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Now, Anna, I'm going to give you, okay, it's already saved. I'm going to grade this for you, and this is dependent. I'm going to give you from 2.5 to 3, considering these errors, okay? Okay? Considering that maybe the evaluator would look at this and said, no, there is too many errors and I have to decrease your grade. I think you would, I always think you would get more, but it's just as I told you in the beginning, I always try to be more pessimistic. Because in TOEFL, you have to add the nervousness you are going to feel.
Yes.
I have already clicked download, my friend. Okay. I have to see, okay? But if you can do that from the... okay.
Writing is the tool that allows me to amplify the voices that are often left behind.
Others. On the other hand,
The other. The 3 key points are clear. This is a great example, okay?
Yes. Yes.
Great example. Because TOEFL is really doing like this. Okay. Okay. Have you ever watched Madagascar? No, Zootopia.
No.
There is an otter there. Very funny otter.
And what is other otter?
It's an animal like roedor. He swims, but he goes... well, I don't know how to say in Portuguese. Okay. Animals.
It's a lot of information, this test.
Yeah, but you have to filter. I took notes, for example. The first one, I took notes about chemical industry, other animals affected, and the third, an even pattern of other decline. Concentration of pollutions.
What is an uneven? The last phrase.
Desnivelado. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to listen to the professor. Okay.
You just read about.
Well, ongoing investigations have revealed that predation is the most likely cause of sea otter decline after all. First, the pollution theory is weakened by the fact that no one can really find any dead sea otters washing up on Alaskan beaches. That's not what you would expect if infections caused by pollution started killing a lot of otters. On the other hand, the fact that it's so hard to find dead otters is consistent with the predator hypothesis. If an otter is killed by a predator, it's eaten immediately so it can't wash up on shore. Second, although orcas may prefer to hunt whales, whales have essentially disappeared from the area because of human hunters. That means that orcas have had to change their diet to survive, and since only smaller sea mammals are now available, orcas have probably started hunting those. So it probably is the orcas that are causing the decline of all the smaller sea mammals mentioned in the passage, the seals, the sea lions, and the sea otters. And third, the uneven pattern of otter decline is better explained by the orca predation theory than by the pollution theory. What happens to otters seems to depend on whether the location where they live is accessible to orcas or not. In those locations that orcas can access easily, the number of sea otters has declined greatly. However, because orcas are so large, they can't access shallow or rocky locations. And shallow and rocky locations are precisely the types of locations where sea otter populations have not declined.
Summarize the points made in the lecture, being sure to explain how they respond to the specific.
Okay. Very good example. TOEFL, yes. TOEFL, current TOEFL is exactly like this.
You said me.
Yeah.
But it was a coincidence.
No, good, very good, very good. I'm going to put this video in my list of integrated because this is very good. What channel is this? I know this channel.
Do you know it? Because I liked this channel.
Yeah, we need to put in what layer. Oh, good. 2018. Okay. Put the text in the lecture about the 201 words. Okay, if you can write a little more, that's better. Put the text in the lecture about the sea otter and the reasons why this population started declining.
But because the title.
Oh, yeah. So, and this too.
Yes.
Yeah, so a little more, and around 20 words more would be better.
Okay.
Put the text lecture in the yes. This is what I said. Discussed in
Queria dizer assim, a seguir.
My suggestion would be in the following paragraphs, maybe. I understood what you meant to say, which is good, but the structure you had to change just a little bit. Okay.
Okay.
In the text, the first reason is the chemical pollution. The chemical pollution. So chemical is an adjective, and adjectives never go plural. Okay? Because there were sources of industrial chemical pollution that could decrease the otter's resistance. That's perfect. Word tá fumando droga. No, this page. On the other hand, the lecture infers. Série, né? Infers. There is not this E. Yes. Inferred. Yes.
And I can use infers or it's not counted?
Yes, it's perfect.
Okay.
That the pollution is not expected to kill the otters. The text states the hypothesis can be the predators. Okay.
Can I ask you something?
Sure, go on.
Can I copy some phrases because I copy when I wrote because there were source of industrial chemical pollution that could decrease the odor resistance. I copied. It's a problem or
It's a
not?
problem. It's a problem. In actual TOEFL, they would decrease your grade. You have to restate, you know.
Okay.
So you say the same thing with different words,
Não.
you know. Yeah.
Então eu não falei isso, é mentira.
Okay, no, okay, but the evaluator would catch, you know. I just read very quickly, but the evaluator would have a J, you know. So
Entendi.
the suggestion is don't do it, okay?
Ok.
Because if you copy too much, they can give you a 0. Paf,
Uhum.
you know.
Mas posso falar em português só para eu falar como que eu pensei? É porque no, I try in English because when I saw the reason, I think, well, the reason is that what in the text, so I have to copy not all the sentence I understood, but I think and sometimes I have to copy, sei lá, some words, something
No,
like that.
no problem. Some words, no problem. Let me give you a suggestion here. The first reason presented, oh Jesus Christ, presented in the text is the chemical pollution. It is stated that this pollution affects the otter's health, making them less resistant. I just said the same thing with different words.
Okay.
You know, so it's that's the thing that this pollution affects. That's the problem with effects. Nothing. Just word is crazy. Okay, so you see that it's I stated the same thing with different words, and this is what TOEFL wants you to do. You know.
Okay. Mhm.
On the other hand, okay, this paragraph you could complete a little more. What do I mean by that? Give a little more information. The professor from the lecture says that the theory of pollution is not consistent because you don't see, oh no. Which one is the one? Because you don't see dead otters on the beaches. You know, so just this information, it would be great because you're giving the example the professor gave in the lecture.
Okay.
You know,
I lost this.
yeah, no problem. You know, no problem. There are some words. It's all practice. It's all practice, Anna. You see, these were my notes. Can you see my notes?
Yes.
And I've taken so many notes. I've practiced this so much that I already have my way of taking notes, organizing my notes, and knowing what I meant. You know, I'm going to increase my camera here again, and when you see the recording, you will see that it's clearer to see. Hang on.
Okay.
Maybe you won't see right now, but if you rewatch this class, you'll see. I organize everything in topics and decreasing, and I already put here first argument, second argument, third argument. You know, so it's very fast, very fast.
Very
And when I
fast.
finish, I already know which argument goes. You
Ah,
know, it's because I already practiced many times. So it's about practice, and there is no better thing than practice for TOEFL.
okay. Because for me, it's the worst is this writing, the test 2, and the speaking number 6.
Yeah, speaking number 6 is Born to be wild. It's very hard. It's hard. Practice, 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 practice. Secondly, the passage remembers third person. This is very important for TOEFL. That other sea mammals also died. So it infers, once again, we don't need the letter E. It infers that the same pollution can can affect. You don't need this piece. Oh no, it can affect all these species because the ecosystem is affected. Ele é afetado. So same idea. Whereas,
Yes, I remember you, Tiberius.
whether the lecture mentions another reason that can cause the decline of sea otter. The hunters can be the main cause to the sea otter disappear. Disappears like disappear. Okay? But this is not her argument.
Ai.
Her argument is that the hunters. Yes. No, the hunters. She said hunters, but do you know who are the hunters?
Hunters não, caçador, sei lá.
The orcas. Yes, no. It is correct, but it's not complete. Okay? The orcas are the main hunters. You know?
Entendi.
Yes, the orcas are the baleia assassina. Yes, and he said that the hunters killed the whales, and the orcas now have to eat small animals, such as the otter. You know? Thirdly, the text explain about the experts suggest. About the expert suggestion, explica sobre the expert suggestion. A sugestão dos experts. That
O que não é que eles sugerem, que os experts sugerem?
Then it would be the text explains that the experts suggest. Then we have to change the structure a little bit.
Tá.
Okay? That ocean currents or other environment may have created an even concentration on that. Very good. Perfect. But the lecture.
But I have to be true. I copied this. Oh, I will show you when I saw this in the book.
No problem. No problem.
And there it's right. Copy and cut.
Não acredito.
Só que eu acho que eu fui literal.
Yes, you have to restate. But the lecture that says that always depends on the location. Locations. The sentence you need to review it. It's incomplete. Okay, it depends on the locations where the otters live.
Yes.
Okay, if it is accessible or not. So the location is very important to analyze. Okay, now, so Anna, here is your first evaluated integrated. This previous one I didn't evaluate. And here's the thing, you were able to catch the information, most of the information, but all the 3 paragraphs, they lack a little more content, a little more information from the listening. Okay, you have to embody a little more, you have to complete a little more your arguments from the listening with more examples or details that she has given, the professor gives. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. For example, in the number 3, she said that otters, orcas cannot access rocky and shallow places. Do you know shallow?
No.
Shallow is rasos.
Shallow.
Yes, raso. And that's exactly where the otters don't live. And so, uh, and that's exactly the place where the population of otters have not declined. So where orcas cannot access, otters have not declined. Where they can access, the otter population has declined. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Now, Anna, I'm going to send you this back. And my grade to you would be 3 to 3.5, but I'm going to give you 2.5 to 3. Because you copied and we have to consider pessimistically what the evaluator would consider. Okay?
Okay.
Do you have any listening grade?
Oh, no.
Okay, if you can do it, we can already close our first test. Just as I told you, this is going to be possibly your worst grade, So don't worry much about that. Just keep on practicing.
Can I send the listen and read and this weekend for you?
Sure. You send to me on WhatsApp, because later on Monday when we have our class, if I haven't put it in your schedule, please remind me.
Okay.
Okay? Yes, because then we can do it. Okay. Great, Anna. We're going to finish our second mock test in speaking, okay?
Okay.
Okay, let's go. Hang on a second. Oh, no, not here. Let's see. Here we go. Okay, we still have to do questions number 5 and 6 for the second mock test. Don't be afraid. No, be afraid. And my suggestion, Anna, really, is try to contain the nervousness of your voice.
Yes.
Try to contain, because we feel very nervous. We want to speak. I was in TOEFL, and people were literally shouting, I think the best day of my life was, and I spoke very softly, I spoke, I believe that the trip that I would take would definitely be and I spoke very calmly, and they gave me 30 in speaking.
Yes.
Serious. So you don't have to shout, you don't have to scream. Just speak calmly, because you can do it. You can do it. Come on, number 4. 3, 4, 5. Listen up.
Number 5. Listen to a short conversation. Then listen for a question about it. After you hear the question, you have 20 seconds to prepare and 60 seconds to record your answer.
Now listen to a conversation between a student and her friend.
I need to earn some extra money. My budget's just out of control.
I hear you. I had the same problem last semester.
So what'd you do?
I got a job at the cafeteria. I don't really like the work, but the good thing is that you get free meals.
Really? Are they hiring?
I don't know, but I could ask. The pay isn't great, though. See, the meals are the thing.
Oh, still, that would cut down on the grocery bill.
Yeah. Or you know what? You could rent that extra room in your apartment. I'll bet you could get $250 a month, at least.
I've been thinking about that. It would help with the rent and the utilities, and I wouldn't have to work, so I could use my time for my classes. But I keep thinking, what if my roommate doesn't pay on time, or what if there's a lot of noise?
Well, you'd have to have a deposit and a contract. Something in writing so you could keep the deposit if there were problems, and you could break the contract if it didn't work out.
Describe the woman's problem. and the 2 suggestions that her friend makes about how to handle it. What do you think the woman should do, and why?
Please prepare your answer after the beep. Please begin speaking after the beep.
The woman's problem is she needs extra money and she doesn't know what to do. Her friend said to her 2 things: a job in the cafeteria, in the example that he did, or use the time and in her apartment and the break it contract and live there. And in my opinion, I think the best choice is to work in the cafeteria, because there she can gain extra money and she can do what she wants to do. And he can conciliate when her students.
Anna, did you get the second one?
No.
Okay. We're gonna listen this again.
Okay.
Okay? Hang on.
Okay.
Number 5. Listen to a short conversation. Then listen for a question about it. After you hear the question, you have 20 seconds to prepare and 60 seconds to record your answer.
Okay.
Now listen to a conversation between a student and her friend.
I need to earn some extra money. My budget's just out of control.
I hear you. I had the same problem last semester.
So what'd you do?
I got a job at the cafeteria. I don't really like the work, but the good thing is that you get free meals.
Really? Are they hiring?
I don't know, but I could ask. The pay isn't great, though. See, the meals are the thing.
Oh, still, that would cut down on the grocery bill.
Yeah. Or you know what? You could rent that extra room in your apartment. I'll bet you could get $250 a month, at least.
I've been thinking about that. It would help with the rent and the utilities, and I wouldn't have to work, so I could use my time for my classes. But I keep thinking, what if my roommate doesn't pay on time, or what if there's a lot of noise?
Well, you'd have to have a deposit and a contract. Something in writing so you could keep the deposit if there were problems, and you could break the contract if it didn't work out.
And now,
Describe the woman's problem and the 2 suggestions that her friend makes about how to handle it. What do you think the woman should do, and why?
okay. And now, could you get it?
I think a little more.
What did you get from the second alternative?
He said to her to rent your apartment, her apartment.
Not rent her apartment.
Rent a room.
Rent the extra room for her from her apartment.
Extra room, and break the contract with the other roommates.
No, not
No?
exactly. His suggestion was to rent the extra room in his apartment, and if the other roommate is not good, she can break the contract anytime.
Okay.
Okay? Okay, and now for this one.
I was so nervous. Oh my God.
It was not terrible, okay? But I cannot give you a very high grade. I'm going to give you 1.5 to 2. Okay?
Okay, let me ask something. If I lost the second or the first argument, the day of the test, can I said only the first? Oh, only one?
Imbromate the second.
Ah, okay.
Really, 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 really.
It's
Because
better than I said only one.
yes.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Now, second
Please
one.
prepare your answer. Listen to part of a lecture. Then listen for a question about it. After you hear the question, you have 20 seconds to prepare and 60 seconds to record your answer.
Now listen to part of a lecture in a sociology class. The professor is discussing the criteria for using older research references.
Well, first of all, you have to understand that there's no hard and fast rule for deciding when a research reference is too old. But that doesn't help you much. So I'll try to give you a couple of guidelines, and then you'll just have to use good judgment. Okay, let's just say for our purposes that the research is 30 years old. Then the next thing to think about is whether any changes have occurred in society to call the data into question. For example, in a study that looks at diet, we know logically that many changes have occurred in eating patterns over the past 30 years. So this study would probably be out of date. But a study of, say, language development may be okay because the way that babies learn their native language hasn't changed much in the same period of time. So what I'm saying is, the date is less important than the potential for change. Okay, then the second criteria to consider is whether the citation is a finding or an opinion. If you have a study that indicates, for example, that college students are drinking more, that's a finding. But if you have a statement by the researcher that drinking is the most serious problem on campus, then you have an opinion. And opinions are accurate over the years as long as they're attributed to the person and the dates cited. But the finding for an older study may be too old. In that case, it's probably better to use a more recent study.
Using the main points and examples from the lecture, describe the two criteria for using an older research reference presented by the professor.
Please prepare your answer after the beep. Please begin speaking after the beep.
According to the professor, there are, she said, about two criteria for using the older research reference. And first of all, when you had a research about 30 years old and the people died, for example, and died, and the language wasn't developed. So she said the date is less important. The second example is important to defending, finding, and opinion. The opinion it's very accurate over the year, and the finding uh, it's probably it's used too. So it's both the two criteria. Muito difícil.
This one is hard, right?
Nossa, me embolei toda aqui.
And I'm gonna give you 1 to 1.5. Okay. So your grade this time was 12 to 15. Now, check it out. What broke you was question number 3. Because compare the two ones, the first and the second. Okay. Keep on practicing.
Okay.
Keep on practicing. Now, this question number 6 is very hard. This question number 6 is very hard. That's why we have to practice and practice again and do it again and do it again, until you feel comfortable with it. Okay, Anna?
Okay.
Yes. Now, this one was really about the 2 criteria. Defining the opinion, you said well. Just repeat, please. Accurate.
Accurate.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
And so the 2 criteria are the potential for change and the finding opinion, because the opinion, it's accurate, and the finding is accurate if you state it in the time it was discovered. Okay?
Okay.
Yes, but this number 6 is maybe one of the most difficult
Yes.
there is in this software.
For me, it's the worst.
No, don't worry, Anna. It's what I told you. I never lie to my students, It is hard. We have to practice, and it is good for you to have this shocks. You suffer with me, and then when you go to TOEFL, you're going to think, oh my God, it's not that hard.
I don't know.
Let's see. And then thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a very nice holiday, and if you can study this weekend and send me grades and essays, that's good for our class on Monday, okay?
Okay.
Thank you, and have a very nice weekend.
For you too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.